in Asia. Let's continue the conversation with Congressman Kevin Brady, of course, chairman of the Joint Economics Committee and a member of the House Ways and Means Committee. Kevin, as chairman of the JEC, you know firsthand about these numbers. The unemployment numbers, are they any way really accurate?
No, they're not, because so many Americans have simply dropped out of the marketplace looking for work, because the share of adults who actually working in the workforce today is as low as it was 30 years ago. It's actually lower than it was when the recession began, and so in some ways the country's gone backwards in employment. We're missing about 6 million jobs that should be back at this point 5 years after the recovery began. And the president, I had to laugh when he said, you know, we're doing so much better than the other economies in the world right now. You know, that's not saying much. We're the best-looking horse in the glue factory economically, but, you know, plugging along at 2% growth each year, man, that is a huge slowdown from where we need to be and have been. We're just stuck in second gear unless we change course, unless the president changes courses. You know, we're going to have a lot of young people. We're going to have a lot of veterans. We're going to have a lot of folks who just can't find any job opportunity.
And KB, as you mentioned veterans on this Veterans Day, I think back to conflicts. When we had men MIA, missing in action, we didn't quit counting them. But in essence, that's what we're doing, the way we formulate unemployment numbers in the here and now.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the bright spots of this recession is people finally understand how the government counts these things. And when you look at the unemployment rate of 6.8%, is really closer to about a 10%, 9.5% employment rate. That's unacceptable under, I don't care, Republican, Democrat, anything you want to be. That's not acceptable. And the truth is, the president's policies is what keeping people from getting jobs, certainly keeping local businesses from creating jobs.
So the real takeaway is this: we're really facing double-digit unemployment, no matter the way that the Bureau of Labor Statistics or whomever in government tries to play fast and loose and eliminate those numbers. Now, let's move to the president's trip there to China, the APEC summit going on there. What do you think is going to come out of that meeting?
You know, I actually think it could be helpful in the sense that we have worked for many years on a new trade agreement, a sales agreement, to be able to level the playing field in those Asia-Pacific countries, allow American companies and workers to compete there on a level playing field. You know, they're getting closer, JD, on that agreement. The reason I think it's important, two reasons. One, you know, 80% of the world's economic growth is going to occur in those areas. I want our American companies in that market going after those customers. Secondly, there's a lot of trade barriers. America is very open and free about a country selling into our. When we try to do it around the world, you know, those America need not apply signs go up pretty quickly. And so getting a chance to tear those down, I think, is important. So I'm hopeful the president makes a little progress there. But as long as he will not push for trade promotion authority, the ability to negotiate these agreements, you know, we're just not going to hit the job potential we could.
About a minute 30 remains, KB. Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice appeared on the Fox News channel, and she has a rather bleak assessment of President Obama's stewardship and the way the world regards him. Let's take a listen, then I'd like to get your reaction.
What we're seeing is that when the United States steps back and speaks softly, nobody listens. Americans also don't like the world that they get when the United States is not deeply engaged and deeply involved. And so I think the American people are ready. I think the world is ready for stronger American leadership.
Do you agree with Secretary Rice?
Absolutely, and I think this was one of the quieter and least noticed parts of this election. I think Americans know that we are not respected around the world, and we're less safer because of it. I think that's one of the motivators why people went to the polls and changed course in the Senate.
30 seconds remain. We have reports that our president sat down with Vladimir Putin. They at least had a brief conversation. Mikhail Gorbachev predicted over the weekend that we're headed into a new Cold War. Do you think the Cold War is freezing over again?
You know, regrettably, I do. And you know, what's frustrating is the president ought to be standing up and telling Europe, Ukraine, and the world that we will turn on the faucet of affordable, reliable American energy so they don't have to rely on Putin anymore for
Fair
their,
enough. KB, we're going to have to end it right there. Thanks for your time, and America's Forum will be right